When most people hear the words private island, a very specific image flashes in their minds. White sand beaches, palm trees swaying in the breeze, crystal clear waters stretching to the horizon. A billionaire lounging with champagne, helicopters coming and going, yachts anchored offshore. It's paradise. It's luxury. It's the ultimate I made it purchase. But here's the truth almost nobody talks about. Billionaires aren't buying private islands just to sip cocktails in the sun. In fact, in many cases, the beaches and the palm trees are just a cover story. Because owning a private island isn't about escape. It's about control. It's about secrecy. It's about creating a fortress that exists outside the rules everyone else has to live by. And once you pull back the curtain, you realize these islands aren't playgrounds. They're chess pieces in a global game of power. Think about it. Why would a billionaire spend tens of millions on a chunk of land that's hard to reach, difficult to maintain, and expensive to protect? If it was just about luxury, there are easier ways. Mansions in Malibu, penthouses in Manhattan, palaces in Dubai. Those come with built-in infrastructure, roads, hospitals, security, even shopping malls. An island? It's isolated, vulnerable, logistically nightmarish. And yet, billionaires are quietly snapping them up. From the Caribbean to the South Pacific, from the Mediterranean to remote corners of the Indian Ocean, the richest people in the world are buying pieces of earth most of us will never set foot on. So what do they know that we don't? The first secret is privacy. A billionaire living in a city is always under a microscope. Cameras, journalists, protesters, even drones flying overhead. But on an island, they're untouchable. You can't stroll past their gate. You can't protest on their lawn. You can't even get close without a boat, a plane, and an invitation. An island creates distance, physical and psychological. It says, you can't reach me here. I own the horizon. But privacy is just the surface layer. Because for billionaires, privacy is never about peace. It's about power. On their islands, they can hold secret meetings, negotiate deals, entertain world leaders and CEOs without a single journalist snapping photos. Imagine a retreat where politicians, bankers, and tech giants gather away from the public eye. No reporters, no records, just decisions that ripple across global markets. It's not paradise. It's a boardroom with palm trees. The second secret is protection. And not the kind of protection you're thinking of. Not against paparazzi or nosy neighbors. But against something much bigger, the collapse of the system itself. Because billionaires are obsessed with one thing, survival. If you look closely, you'll notice that many of the world's richest people are preparing for worst-case scenarios: climate change, pandemics, financial collapse, political unrest. They don't just buy yachts and jets. They buy bunkers in New Zealand, farmland in remote regions, and yes, islands. What? Because an island can become a self-sustaining fortress. Food can be flown in. Solar panels can be installed, private airstrips built, water purified, security forces hired. If the rest of the world falls into chaos, an island can function as a bubble, sealed off, protected, controlled. For billionaires, it's the ultimate insurance policy, not a vacation home, a lifeboat. The third secret is money. And here's where it gets really interesting. You see, private islands aren't just pieces of land. They're also loopholes. Some are located in jurisdictions with extremely favorable tax laws. That means if a billionaire registers their residency or a business there, they can legally slash their tax bill. Offshore banking, shell companies, hidden trusts, all of it can be anchored to an island paradise. On paper, it looks like a tropical getaway. In reality, it's a vault. A place to store wealth away from governments, regulators, and prying eyes. When critics accuse billionaires of hiding money offshore, this is what they're talking about. It's not always a bank in Switzerland. Sometimes it's an island with palm trees, a landing strip, and a mailing address that quietly saves someone billions in taxes. The fourth secret is leverage. Because when a billionaire owns an island, they don't just own property, they own territory. Some islands fall under weak governments or tiny nations desperate for investment. That gives billionaires unusual bargaining power. They can strike deals no normal citizen could ever dream of. Want to build a private runway? Go ahead. Want to change zoning laws? Done. Want to set up a special economic zone with tax breaks, custom rules, and private security? Sign here. Owning an island allows billionaires to bend the rules, or in some cases write entirely new ones. And here's the kicker. Once you control the rules on your land, you don't just have an island. You have a mini-country, a micro-kingdom, a private jurisdiction that functions like a state within a state. This isn't fantasy. It's happening. From tech billionaires experimenting with seasteading to wealthy investors building semi-autonomous enclaves, the line between private ownership and political sovereignty is blurring. An island is no longer just real estate. It's a test lab for power. And then there's image. Because nothing signals untouchable wealth like saying, "I own my own island." It's not just about money. It's about myth-making. Owning a mansion puts you among the rich. Owning a skyscraper puts you among the elite. But owning an island? That puts you in a category so rare it feels almost royal. Presidents vacation on islands. Royal families escape to islands. Legends and tycoons disappear to islands. By buying one, a billionaire sends a message to the world. I am not like you. I exist on my own terms, on my own land, beyond your reach. And that message is powerful. It cements the illusion that their wealth is limitless, that their world is untouchable, that they can literally step away from society and live above it. But here's the twist most people never consider. Private islands aren't as stable as they look. They're fragile, vulnerable, risky. Hurricanes can wipe them out. Rising sea levels can swallow them whole. Supply chains can break down. Security can falter. And perhaps most importantly, the illusion of safety can collapse overnight. Because no matter how much wealth you hide offshore, no matter how many walls you build, no matter how many guards you hire, an island is still just land surrounded by water. It can protect you from the crowd, but it can't protect you from history. So let's connect the dots. Billionaires don't buy private islands just for paradise. They buy them for privacy, a shield from scrutiny; protection, a fortress against collapse; money, a loophole in the system; leverage, the power to bend rules; image, the ultimate symbol of wealth. Put it all together and you realize the island isn't the prize, it's the tool. A tool for control, survival, and power. And now the real question emerges. If the richest people on Earth are preparing escape plans, building lifeboats on islands, stockpiling food, creating fortresses far from the rest of us, what does that say about the world they helped build? Do they know something we don't? Are they preparing for storms we haven't seen yet? Or are they simply making sure that when the storm comes, we're the ones left behind while they retreat to paradise? That's the paradox of the billionaire island dream. It looks like luxury, feels like fantasy. But behind the palm trees lies something darker, the quiet admission that the system isn't as stable as it seems. And once you realize that, the next question practically asks itself. If billionaires are building lifeboats, what happens to the rest of us when the ship starts to sink? That's the hidden story of private islands. But the deeper story goes even further. Because islands are just one piece of a bigger pattern. A pattern of billionaires quietly reshaping the world for themselves, while leaving the rest of us on shaky ground. So here's the question. When the richest people are buying lifeboats, should we be asking what they see on the horizon? If you found this eye-opening, make sure to hit subscribe, because in the next video, we'll dig into the secret infrastructure billionaires are building underground, in the sky, and even in cyberspace.